Uganda menankubuzaako abali mu state Uganda abali ku lwa East Africa namwe n'abatala wamanya butabira ku media platforms ez'enjawulo nga Facebook, Twitter ne ku YouTube enambe bazokuba nti mutugobera mwebale nnyo kuba nti musakola tamwe wadde data ya be ne mugamba nti gano tubugobera STV amacha malungi era nsaba mukama mwenabeere nga bamalira nyongera okubanga mbakutya tutye Allah tubere nga tumwesinza tubere nga tumugondera ajja kuba tumalira butavuna betulina Tati ngataga emanya program the sharp talk novuna Tamale Mirundi batwa tusedde sawa zine ndumano kwa naku lwa kubiri twatwe tulire mukona vya tusedda mwali mutabani wo mugenzi Yohana minimum amore na matovu baluzali kula lyo omwana kubantu litutemetemere ensonga ngabe zitambula mu gwanga amachaga lero nso ngenda kuba ngenda tandika nembera etali inunga mu Bulungi betali yasanyu nga mu na Uganda ate muna bya mizannyo nino okunyura ku mutima nine nyiike ne konda eri abakulembeza batutwala njogera ku FUFA nenjogera National Council of Sports nenjogera ku Ministry of Sports and Education nenjogera ku bakulembeze beggwanga Uganda kikuwa kiswaza era nga kikuba enchuko kuba nti Silverbacks timu yaffe national team ya basketball eremedde okuba nti egenda okuba nti ezanya qualifiers za World Cup abwe naye wensero milioni 2.5 zokka milioni 2.5 zokka eggwanga ddamba Uganda eremedde okuba nti sponsoringa team okuba nti egenda okuba nti ekikamiza nnyo kyannaku kiswaza nenga twebuuze mu bingi bitekamu ensimbi newebuuza n'ikibuzo kye neebuuza mbutuufu ekisawe ya Uganda tetulina kisaawe National Stadium nti kisaawe kishineeno singa lero Mulindi agamba nti mbakooye ng'eggwanga temudda wange tukekyalizawo emipiira nga mugamba nti muyagala okuba nti muyamba abavubuka mala okuba nti mununa abavubuka okuba nti tubakwatako tukwate ku byemizannyo bisobola okuba nti byepulenga abavubuka bangi nnyo n'ensi yoti Uganda mbutuufu tetujagaliza ng'abakulembeze
nabagamba I wrote a brief. Umukono amba bubi nnyo. Nabaga it was wrong. Okutwala first lady mu
politics.
Nembaga nti ababbi bajja kuyingiramu. Abalabe babalowooza nti popularizing yourself. Kubaka abusinga yakubanga opinion polls. Nga naye mwali mu bavuganya president. Abagabagala oba president.
Yeah.
Kakati a problem Elimo sports. Come on. Wherever you cannot discuss it openly.
Openly, yes.
Next time when you put it akatabo wandi. Uganda soccer.
Kali kubya mizannyo.
Is it yes.
Okay.
I'm a sports writer.
Yeah.
A trained sports writer. Era bwe nakawandika Mulindwa yanguliye motoka Regias.
Lwakatabako.
Yes.
Very good.
Yangulira Regias ne waka ekyaliwo nakwezi namuga nti ekaddiye naye njagala ngitunde era tuddemu ekirabo kya Mulindwa kisigale.
Okay.
Lawrence Mulindwa we are knowledgeable people but mu Africa mu mawanga amalala agatali Africa gavumenti ensi ebeeramu bagiwadde omuliro flatterers abagala okulya
ensimbi
bagende wa MUSEVENI bamugamba nti gwe toyogera n'abagenda okugendayo babasereketinga n'asoma ekiwandiiko nala disi kyasoma sajja temumubuusa kumujja mu muudu netufunamu ne voice of reason people like me. I'm part of government. I support government but I'm not part of government. Kakati ffe the voice of reason tulaba ekintu ekiri mu government tukikubuulira
temukyogererawo
ekikubuulira oyomba n'oyomba ne tubeeramu ne opposition ebeera government in waiting ekulisizinga policy eno n'eno kati mu Uganda temuli opposition
mulimu ki
temuli academicians beebaka let me ask you in 1983 Mono newspaper where I was working as a junior reporter organized Chekafa emipira.
Mono?
Yes.
Okay.
Because of Sekabembe. There was a kisawe in Mbale. There was a kisawe in Bugembe. There was a kisawe in Bugembe in Kacheka. Nina Chivubu. I remember twazanyako ne Kenya. Uganda negenda ne bagikuba negenda Mbale. Where did these bisaawe disappear?
Muze Tamale nakulira nakawa erugogaawo twalina bisaawe nga 8 byali bisinga nawo nga 8 gwe nakulira naye byonna byalagawo.
Yes.
National Stadium tulina kisaawe
kyekubuulira nti Namboole Abachina bamutuwa. Government bought 2 square miles of land in Namboole. Compensated everybody. Baddamu ne balitunda ekyapa kiri wa muntu. Kati bana abamawulire bwe babagula bakulaga wotalogidi Namboole.
Tebalaga kituufu.
Abachina aboogera Oluganda n'Olunyankole baali recommending bakitunde mukula ne yeepakingawo ne premier buses ne zijjawo as sitting hotel tenants.
Bagala compensation.
Kajala earmarked allocated 3 billion for airlifting of Namboole bamutunde ne bazibba. Musajja bali bamuyita Mugisha bajja banoonya because the data is there. Yes.
Nemutuufu kiswazanga eggwanga abakulembeza batutwala bali kyokube mu mutima wemanga mwagaliza eggwanga Uganda muze Tamale tugende mpola no.
What repercussions, what punishment do you give ku basajja abagenda ekigali ne babba sente z'abaki olina ga tukyabuliriza National Council of Sports. Will you investigate Nika when the woman follows pregnant?
Let's look at this scenario. Tunyomba nnyo ensi Rwanda. Tugamba nti Rwanda ki? Rwanda yazimbe arena ya basketball.
Yes.
One of the best mu Africa. Ne mu mwaka gumu gwokka.
Kagama ina abasoma.
Wano busuma bitulemesezza.
Bomasasa ni munid. Akate bitembikaba mu. Temubikaba mu awuti bannabbirawo.
Okay.
Naye singa tiimu eyo ngaba n'abaana abaddusi. Bwe bakomawo President abuuza, what vehicles do you want? You like it? Muze, you already bought them. Abana bo mwali mubalabyeko n'emmotoka ezo ziri expensive.
Tetuzirabangako.
Yes.
Buli kimu kati kibatambiramu kye bakikola.
Insatiable urge for money, greed, humiliating people, and lack of interest in our country. Bibiriwa.
Ngabe nabe mizannyo nine ennaku era esonga eno butuufu yeetaga vehicle kubanga eggwanga
amawulire bagagaginga
tebula kyogerako buli omu asirise buli omu yeesirikidde
akabukidde kaleega lugongo kati olupapula kalufudde essomero badidde omusajja ono omuzadde naye mwemba oba mwakulya mu famire eki nti omwana wange I believe strongly nti bamutta nensaba sente Gasumba nafuuka negotiator billion simanyimu
oba otunda kika
omuzimu tegukutta gwe
abo tutuse ku level eyo nti omuntu omwana bamusse ne kati mumpeemu ssente
ne bali ne bazimumu kuba si kituufu empapula nezikuba bwaledi people bwabukidde ne butunuulidde billion eno.
That is too bad.
You cannot have poor journalists. Tebalina kye bakola because the media is the forces.
Yes, bwekiri
yerwanirira
abantu
kakati media ya mwenfu nti babagula ebillion buli omu yavuddeyo except me.
Ensonga eggwera
abasirikale yali ampa million ya dollar I rejected
oveko organic case
banomba byonna ejjogo lyabwe nemba bana ejjogo lyabwe jonna balabanga berondamu because the ICC insisting they should go. Kakati babagambye baloya baabwe from Germany, from Britain newalala baba wa sente bo naye nze mbaga to give your lawyers money, you are wasting your time when I'm around.
Wewa
kakati okiraba
nkiraba
media tesobola kuwandika ku organic case bajiwa 10 billion kano n'obutu bwako kono akabbeka n'akasuma nako kali awo kaleegangalabi. Your country is in a big dilemma. Because the media is dead. Kakati president yakugambye nti alagidde baala DC bagende bamobilizinga abantu nenkugamba nti bijja kukola wawulidde ekizindaalo
sinnakiwulira
kati eddagala terijja ku expiring
era lijja ku expiring.
Yes babaala DC be bamugamba nti abamawulire basaba sente media institutions
okujja otuchaza bagala sente
ate ne bazibawa tebazituusa
tebazireeta
zina bagambye mu designing akalango byayogedde yene anadivert form katambule musasule nabusaya akakwata asasule nekolisa agenda kujjayo omuntu simanyi national gondi ani azibbe nga bakola bulijjo bazinyaga. Museveni is facing a hostile media.
Okay.
Agent bikalisa waliwo n'omulala be bavuba ssente abantu babawa Yes. Kakati Museveni, as he is trusted by people, he does not have a media. The media is not even credible. Tewalimu. Bali mbya katemba. Ekitegeeza ya designing eno gundi. Ekibategeeza nti temulina media. Look at this cartoon. In media practices, a cartoon, even in media law, a cartoon is charged differently.
Okay.
Look what Museveni. Look what Uganda. Ewenyera. Look what Uganda is in the plasters, bandages. He's walking, you know. Museveni abagamba atya. Nobody can do what?
Nobody will disturb your peace. Mumbera
Uganda mbera jeri.
Mbera jeri clutches.
Kakati
enebi wonde.
Ne bali okamate kono bali omunsi waggulu. Bali omunsi omulaba bwaga.
Oyo wali waggulu.
Kakati they are attacking the minister and the president.
The president.
But I don't think that there is any knowledgeable person who rang these people. Whatever they combined, the minister and the president.
And the president. Okay.
But nobody observes this. Which means if you don't have a media,
the media,
you don't have this media. And this is why Banaba security bagenda ne bankubira amasimu. I told Kuba, are my programs paid for by government?
No.
I've spent 8 years without getting a facilitation from government. These are my programs.
Yes.
And if you take somebody who doesn't know how to sing, you have a wife who cannot cook properly, do you bring a neighbor's wife to cook for you?
No.
Sentiza mumuziria muzeri.
Bazerire.
Kakati abo bobagamba. Media is very crucial. Media, a trusted media, not a malicious media, not a mercenary media. Kakati chino okira kati soko somono gundi.
Ali.
Nti police target parents. You were mistaken in
to stop ADF recruits.
It tells you that Yenanga is out, the police is out of touch with the security.
Okay.
Look, when you see somebody who does not have a solution, who doesn't understand the problem, give zero solution.
Okay.
The police, I wish I had come with my newspaper of Daily Nation, of Sunday. The parents of those boys who had escaped from a committee narrated their story. How their boys disappeared from school. Somebody went and came back, but they later had read in the newspapers that their sons had escaped from a committee. Abazadde babadde bamanyi. Abazadde babadde bamanyi. Do you know where you
simanyi.
Owomukyala ganti ali Kampala.
Bwekiri.
Owomukampala n'alowooza nti yagenda bweru.
N'ayogera birala.
Yes, babatika kunyonyiwa bagenda bweru. Even now that it has been announced nti 4,000 Ugandan girls were killed in India alone and their organs extracted for sale. Even Idi Amin did not kill people for sale.
Teyakikolako.
Media teyogera bakyatika embwaza.
Tukola kimu kumuvuma buvumi.
Kubanga babirimu bali powerful. Kakati if you have a dead media, what do you do? Kati bano onenanga tamanyi. Are you going to work like the border of US and Mexico? Are you going to work like a Gondi? Ono musajja abadde ku president wa America? Are you going to erect a wall to divide Congo? Is it possible?
Tekisoboka.
How are you going to control the inflow where you are going to build the roads and other activities?
You just opening up the borders. Kuba tugenda kuzimba enguudo.
It
is opening up.
Kati bano batudde. Let me tell you. When you read my book, manyi waliwo omukyala ngenda nembasaasira. President was addressing a family, and the family appreciated what I did for them. Nabajjirayo ebintu byabwe. 8 years ago, when I was still in State House, a woman came up and said, "This man is a drunkard. Am I your husband? How many books have you written? The only thing you can write, you woman, is a letter to your boyfriend, if you have one. Why do you hang on me? Why did you talk about my character? A man who left the State House 8 years, am I part of your staff? You see the problem in Africa. People would be cleaning the toilets, find their way in the corridors of power like a state house. Why do you talk about me? He drinks, yes, I drink. But my mental capacity is high. What have you written? You are in parliament, you have not even made your maiden speech, and I doubt whether you will make it. So stop talking about me. He's a drunkard. Yes, I drink. I drink, I'm not your husband. I drink. Put what you have, you who doesn't drink. Put what you have on the table. Omanya Abaganda tukiyita kumemengwa. Tulina okwogera, tulina okumemengwa, tulina n'okunyumya. Bya kumemengwazi. And the Baganda say, ebbula bikolwa liwanula amenvu emisana. To failure to have something serious to do, you engage in the sex as if you have something important to do at night. Okay. Stop kumemengwa on me. Whenever you have state house meetings.
Mr. Gabe, tukomeo.
He's a drunkard. Am I your husband? Am I your son? Next time talk about serious issues, not to talk about my character. Person who left the state house 9 years ago. What type of fools are these?
Okay.
When you read my book, The Rise of Terrorism in Uganda, I will tell you.
Yes. All of these measures,
you have failed to understand. One, I told you, about security.
Yes.
Nabagenti terrorist bano bafuna sente emirundi egi.
Emirundi esatu.
One, they are hired by big people in the government to assassinate people.
They are hired?
Yes, I have
by people in the government.
I have recordings.
Yeah.
I survived.
Okay.
In my case, somebody took 50 million.
Okujokumalawo.
Okutanzita.
Utakutta.
Nachobezi case 600 million. Yes.
So, machinery
babagula to kill. This is the source of their money.
Okay.
Two, mercenarism, as the president pointed out. Nakitegeera nti Mozambique went to Rwanda. Why? Most of the fighters that had attacked Mozambique had come from this place, from Uganda.
From Uganda.
So mercenary work and the donations.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay.
This is if you want to challenge me, that they can give you the recorded wound, but you cannot. I told the security man, come with the money. Come with the money. You get money to do work which you don't do. So therefore, if you want to get information from me, pay. Ripa. Yeah, because I'm a private man.
Okay.
Kakati, what you don't know, look at the situation in northern Nigeria.
Boko Haram.
Why are they there? How did they emerge? When the northerners, when Nigeria started a democratic journey, most of the generals were coming from northern Nigeria.
Okay.
Obasanjo sacked over 50 generals from northern Nigeria. Kakati sente ez'obwerere ezali mu government. At one time in 75, the Hausas were paid money ogenda okusoma. Ngati basoma.
Okay.
Bajja mu magye. Kakati sente ez'obubbi bwe zaava mu northern Nigeria eziva mu government. Obwavu ne bubakwata. Kiki ekizeeyo?
Kwe kulwanagana kunene okuliwo.
Yes.
Kwe kuyingira obuyeekera.
They don't have economic activities.
Yes.
Kakati, when you look at Mozambique, how can an Islamic group threaten Mozambique's government to survive? Because I don't think that they have a sizable number of Muslims in Mozambique.
In Mozambique.
Why? These are mercenaries. They are ready to die. Kakati, when you look in Uganda, when you read my book, I tell you the history of Islam in Uganda.
Okay.
Into the first generation of Muslims married 4 wives, as according to your diniam. Nebazala abana bangi
nnyo.
Ne batasoma. Kakati first generation abana abo abali tebali bayigirize baafuna emirimu mu social sector.
Okay.
Bw'abaawo omupiira gw'ogenda okusiba bayita Juma.
Beba makanika.
Yes. Abafumbi b'emmere baki?
Basiraamu.
Abali mu hotels. Abavuzi b'emmotoka baki?
Basiraamu.
The destruction of Butoda by the thugs, the thieves. Do you know the impact?
Itoda yalijudde Basiraamu.
Yes.
Bana bali mu mmotoka zaabwe.
Ne bagijjawo ne
bagikuba ne bagimalawo.
Ne bagimalawo ne badduka. Boda zijjudde mu baki? Kakati gwe kati kisaka n'omutwe gwe ate aleeta bus. Continue, I clap for you. If you burn the nearby bush, the snakes sneak into your house.
Zaita America nkulaba otandikire Nigeria. Bano webagobwa abali bali mu kintu ne bagobwa ba genos. Mirimu ne gigwawo bayingira ki?
Bakala haram.
Wale wana genos okumate abantu bajjako emirimu. Bo bakole ki?
Bakole ki? Ne ekinanga mu mutwe gwe tasobola takimanyi when they sit in a group because the foreigners thinkers we sit ne mara okutegeera nti abaana abagenda ebweru okusoma Saudi Arabia wa batono nnyo abagatta ebyensi
n'ebyeddiini. Yes,
and unlike Christianity emizikiti gy'abantu
mizikiti gy'abantu. Yes, bwe kiri mizikiti gy'abantu.
Omwana nga ye imam.
Yeah, bwe kiri.
Do you have the arrangement where you accommodate the sheikhs who have come back? Kakati abo nabo tebalina mirimu ba sheikhs. Kakati ate nabana abaana ababadde beekoledde emirimu najjo mugibabbyeko mbwaggala nsalo enanga naye bamwakulirabo. Can you close the border?
Mzee Tamale,
when a snake can sneak into your house?
President Bavana agamba nti security ye erirawo ebeera ku laxity babeera mu Ugandalo na Uganda asigalewa.
No,
bazukanga waliwo kikka ku
there is nobody who can be on alert 24 hours.
Church bafuna kuba tebabeera ku alert.
A human being is a human being. Why is it that when you go to Birmingham Palace bagamba nti sawa mukaaga awo abantu bagenda balaba aba change of guard abendo kuyi baveewo abasirikali bwe bali ku parade bagwa okujjako Rwanda bwogera ku parade bagoba maji ne wano bagwa ate bwogenda Southern Sudan olw'omusana efuru parade yegwa ne baleeta endala ne bakamanda baabwe.
Okay,
kati omutayinza kubeera ku alert. Me, I stay outside my house at night, especially when I receive information that I'm in danger. You can find nabo bantu abasirikali nabo bantu
bwekana kugosibwa tugamba nti abasirikali banene oluusi nabo bagamba nti muludde ekintu okukiibwa kyebala bakola ebintu ebimu. Laxity teva ku mbeera okuba nti bayisibwa bubi.
Abapoliisi abatalya
abapoliisi abatalina
masannyalaze
abasalibwako sente ez'omusaala embeera tebafuna okuba nti bakola ebintu nga bineeno. President bino abimanyi.
When you go to Sierra Leone, how did Valentine Stresser come to power at the age of 24? The generals refused to send these people money when they are fighting the rebels. So they struck a deal. We are young. We are young.
Jangu.
Do you have a house? Mukiboga mu capital. Bakola deal.
Bwe kiri.
Bonna baana bato. Era tinyefunza yagamba governor wa Bank of Uganda. You don't have money at the Ministry of Finance. Let us change positions. Come and command Northern Uganda operation. I will send you money when I'm governor Bank of Uganda. That was the influence.
Okay.
Powerful, confident. Yes.
Mzee Tamale tuva ku nsonga twaganja tupinga tugivaako. President Museveni ayina mu speech ye yakoze yagedde ebigambo bingi naye ayina bwe yatuuse na defending security. Okuba nti nno basse Sheikh Kilevu n'abalala bangi abadde abazze battibwa.
Nayongedde okwadima yalinga Islam. Mayinza mwana adima yalovu Islam. If Kilevu was a Christian priest, he would have been buried in a shallow grave. Everybody would be running away. The Muslims went there, expressed their solidarity with their sheikh, and left. And they were not violent. Yeah. And they left the judgment to Allah.
Islam is peaceful. Singa mseyo nechimanyi. Obusiramu bwa mirembe bannaye. Singa enseri ekimanyi. Obusiramu bwa mirembe.
Omanyiza irokwatira small things. Wali wamubanja nga wa secondary school. Wa primary school. Tayina sente ziweri abaana be mu ssomero. Musajja n'agamba nti normally omanyi akasajja ka Bukedde ako nabaga nti gavumenti bw'eri kategeera nabo balikewunya nga basheeke bano.
Okay.
Akasajja ka Bukedde akayina empandiika gye kawandiikamu. Akasajja ka Bukedde kage nti bamasheeke beewuunyiza abasajja baterorisi baba ne ssente naye ono omwavu bwati. And the government has no capacity
kunoonya.
Yes. Government kyetayina oba media tegiyina and people who think beyond average intelligence nti government does not explain that at one time we gave these people amnesty.
Yeah.
Baba
Yeah.
kwatire ebuseruka.
Yes.
One of those who had been arrested in Buseruka is Sekito Owakasi Abakubo Kamala. Because he had been indoctrinated.
Okay.
Kasita Abakuba n'abogoloza. Nenga kasi oyo Sekito yava bun. Amnesty kyali kitegeeza denounce violence and transform you. Sente zaabwe baazibba.
Tebafuna sente zaabwe.
Did the government maintain a close contact monitoring to these boys? Abali bafunye amnesty? Yes. Kubanga once the government, certain things they are doing is as if this is a new government.
Yeah.
No. Okulwa mu power kitegeeza nti osanga ensonga yo government ya America ya myaka 8
yebwe kiri.
A president of the United States can afford okulekawo ensonga ezimu. Ndi kakati ye ono bwaze ajje maje mu Afghanistan. The other one deployed.
Yes, on agajjeyo.
Depending on after 20 years should we remain in Afghanistan?
Gatukula
yote. In chances. A problem that has been created by one government is solved by another.
By another government.
But if you have 35 years in power, and that's what I tell my mom. Nti mama, understand. Olumbo oluta baby teruta mukadde. If we wait to live longer, amaaso gajja kuziba.
Yes.
Amagulu tegajja kutambula wadde agagoba akakuba. These are consequences of overstaying on earth.
On earth. Tera nawe bwosigala mu nayo bulamu buyinza. Waliwo ebijjo kukola ki?
Nti kakati tulina contradictions zetukola. Naye nga luli nazibagambirawo nga bazikola. Nembaga zijja kuvaamu obubbi nga abasuma. Obusuma, greed, insatiable urge for money, humiliating the people.
Mzee Tamale, njalo obere open ku nsonga oberekiri obulire gwanga. Why are suspects obacha abantu battibwa on arrest? Bana kibakweka.
Anti nabo kibakoze.
Bana kibakweka.
You see, lwaki gwe you analyze. Lwaki bali bagenza okutega bomu ewono gwe bali bagenda okuziba.
Allocate.
Yatabannaabwe. That's revenge.
Okay.
Era kati yakubye ekirevu esasi bajja kumunoonya kubanga security is infiltrated. Babategeera.
Yakubye ekirevu. Bali bagenda mukola ki?
No, naye bali bagenze. I analyze these things because for me, I am not seeing terrorism for the first time.
Okay.
Mbisoma mu nsi yonna.
Naye tuba tusuubira nti omuntu singa bakwatiddwa tumujja mu information. Atubire seri nanga bweri.
It depends.
Ne wachattibwa.
It depends on the commander. Maybe government is fed up because of the judiciary.
No, oba kiri nti muzaita wangambi these people baba bangisa ba machinery. Oba obatta kukweka bujulizi tebogera bakama baabo. Gonde
Dokita bamwita
Kiyingi.
Babaga nti ase mukazi we. They arrested the alleged killer. Bagenda mu court. Musango bwe gutambula in normal circumstances. Once you eliminate the person who pulled the trigger, that's why when we are trained in the security, a serial killer can easily be exposed, except if he is a criminal lawyer, a senior police officer, a judge, but eventually a person who does not fall under the above categories ends up exposing himself.
Okay.
Like omukikirwa watolo. Omukikirwa watolo ate yayagala okutta gwe yagula.
Okutta gwe baje nnyo.
Basoka kutta ba Mirindi bali abamulaba Fort Portal.
Yes.
N'abatta. Kakati when you look at nti you become a serial killer and eventually you are exposed.
Okay.
This man is only lucky nti bajjayo omusango gumu. Naye nabagamba ne munnamawulire wange yafa.
Oh.
Nga bagenza omusaba sente.
Sorry.
Yes. Kakati you become a serial killer. Kakati mu kesi ya Kiyingi. A man who pulled the trigger, whose evidence would be relied on in a court, baleta take away. Never take away. Is it acceptable in prison rules for a prisoner to eat food that is not tested by the prison authority?
No, but in the quantity tested.
When the bus, they boarded the bus, the man developed stomach pains. By the time he arrived at the Rosira gate, was dead. But the presiding judge did not order a postmortem report. What changed was that the original lawyers Matova, the company advocate, left the case and gave it to Kabega, an expert in murder cases. And they were acquitted. The moment you eliminate the man who pulled the trigger, in Uganda, I
eliminated.
Yes.
Why?
Ask keys. The prime suspects. Ubanga papa kantimbatia diruza. No, I make a research.
Okay.
I cannot reason like you. If I reason like you, my programs will be propaganda programs like yours. Nti umuserikali wa police who wants to explain things agenda mu program yaliwo musana ne muwanga kivumbi ne bamupira ne bamufuula omusi because the police cannot address the public on this road.
Okay.
Abantu bajjira
bwe kiri.
Been fed with wrong information for a long time. Yes.
Okay, enough of that. Nga tumalisagala nyo tugende kuba sala kugenda nnyo regional
nakugamba nti kusande today your attorney general Kiwanuka is meeting people who claim to have bought to the tax park. I wanted to read on one of my books to tell you how the whole thing operated. The president directed that it was not a policy of NRM to sell public places like markets, tax parks to businessmen. And the Orania committee recommended the compensation for people like Basajja Balaba, Kano Mujenyi, all of those who had bought markets. Jeno Mugere, I think Brigadier Mujenyi. Oyo no musajja kale. Kajina yali aganya okupangisa ekizimbe kye. Oyo musajja omumanyi. Mugenyi. Akankana bwati. Mugenyi challenges you. How? Nagamba mbuga wano. Nemuga nti mbuga don't complain to people that you don't have money.
Okay.
Bewaleka wano bakoze iki?
Bayina ki?
Obagwe gwe basiba. Bazisaba gwe. Bobo babeera mukomera bakola ki? When you go to this man, Gond, Mugenyi, you wonder, ntikajina yali ajje yunula mu kizimbe ky'endozera yagijja mu afe. And this balokole. Omusajja oyo ye yasooka okutegulira bbomu mu Kampala. Mujenyi. Ngalina embadi. Ono amekamanda. Ngambadi junior we. Bagenda China because the Chinese technology at that time was crude. Nakuba nervous system.
Okay.
Singa government yemwene sente n'okwera abaana.
Compensation kuba nti yali.
Yes.
Okay.
Naye yakola ne company n'emirimu tebagiwa kagina yali amugobye mu ekizimbe. Not because Yinula has constructed a building to go to another place so that this man dies.
Alimukubanga afuna akasente kali kabadde afuna.
Namuga nti embarrass these people write a book. I will come here every good Friday. Onyonyoli to embarrassing abantu bano. This man you see there was a nice looking young man and some man who trained in detonating bombs to help Uganda najja mu nervous system.
Okay.
The exercises he does a day, the money he spends would be incurred by government. Olumala okujoga ne badduka, olumala okujoga ne bakanywa kasasira ate paka lwe bali kujjayo bakunaazeeko bye bakujoga ate okomewo.
Let's come back to tumalize ensonga ya paka tugende ku issue.
Kankugambe nti nawandika akatabo kano but am I seeing it properly? Nawandika akatabo kano nakatuuma Baganda and the politics of wheelbarrow pushing. You see, in all government scandals, Baganda are the casualties. In the construction business, when you are constructing a building, the people who die normally are the wheelbarrow pushers. The engineers.
Bayinga tebabeerawo.
Olumala okujoga bane bali sente ne badduka. Ono Nasali, ono Mbuga, ono was acquitted, Gondi, engineer Byandala. Ono Kivumbi, bamala omugoba nti abyate ne bamugoleza ne bajja babbiremu emba. Kakati are they two Kivumbis? The one you sacked and the one you accorded kuba babbiremu sente za State House. Tekasa omukolo baguyingiramu bagula omuceere naki. Ono Lukwago. bamugoba mu ministry ya health bayingiremu battiremu abantu is a lucky man bamuwako obutwa
ngagwe
Lukwago was poisoned Lukwago agenda naye omukazi oyo akulo alla kyavudde amugalamiza ku ttaka alifa yafadda arrested Lukwago on allegation Lukwago yali abba ssente bamugulya ekiddiiro nabagaba basasule cause company erife bo bennyini ababbi nga be bagitaddewo kakati Lukwago was arrested and taken to Kireka by that Akuloma. When I heard about the information, I was still in State House. I rang Akayihula. How can a permanent secretary be dragged to Kireka as a criminal? You first see him. Kireka rang Akulu. A permanent secretary cannot be grilled at Kireka. By the time Kayihula moved in, it was 4 p.m. Ngabamusibiza. Lukwago is alive. When Lukwago went back to his car, okujja open up, yalinako nga bigirisi bwe biti. N'abuuza driver we, have you washed the car? Ati nange bwe batuleese akulo nze yansibidde eno gwe naye akulo akulagidde ku nsi kuno kyonootaka mu jahannama kuba gwe oli wa jahannama.
Omusalidde
akulo wa jahannama.
Obuyinza bwa Mungu yasalawo.
Akulo wa jahannama. Ati gomezza nnyo abantu. Kakati Lukwago okwata ku bifura bino byali poison nga busagwa bw'omusota guli Congo. When Lukwago entered his office, he collapsed on the chair.
Kulebiri byakutteko.
Yes. His secretary rang Kireka. What have you done to my boss? An arrogant voice answered, is he still alive? Are you sure? Is he still alive? Ask Lukwago. Those are people he praised. That I come and interact with you. Would you interact with the grave? You wanted to switch off my programs. What if you succeeded? This man should go home and rot. I'm not rotting, but you have been humbled by ICC. Every time I watch them, nga beerondamu ani asookayo bani abagenda kuba baloya babagambye mujje mulaga ICC nti muli weringi okugenda n'okudda nembalaba bwebeeru nendyoka ntyuka edduba lyange nenzina humbled, very humbled. The usual arrogant fellows have been humbled, humiliated to the bone marrow. Nenebaza Katonda nengenda mu kyaki yange nempayo ofatole kakati
wabaddeyo kikaliga kabuzi
nkugamba nti but I'm not seeing properly. Those are tala sinto. Nkugamba nti Chidu and Saida Bumba on Tuesday 19th February 2012 while on my way to Kenya, on my way to Kisumu, I received several telephone calls. This was not unusual for many people calling me and this is someone amaso
tegakyalaba
kakati somove wano otegeere bano kiwanuka baatula nabo bafere eggwanga. I sent a message to the Minister of Kampala, don't interfere. Leave Kiwanuka and his group to steal the money. They are still young. One day they will spend much of their time in inquiries and commissions.
Okay, yes. On Thursday, 19th February 2012, while on my way to Kisumu, I received several telephone calls. This was not unique for many people calling me for several reasons. What surprised me was that all the phone calls were on one subject: designation of Saida Bumba and Chidu Makube. Chidu had vowed not to throw in the towel because, according to him, he could defend whatever he did. His argument did not surprise me because he was using his legal microscope. This to me was not legal, it was really politics. Real politics does not mean telling the truth. It was malice at play. In many cases, our parliament operates on mobilism without regard to the law. Like Bumba, Chidu had committed several blunders. For example, immediately they were implicated in the scandal, they invoked the name of the president. This, however, created more trouble for them. The president had not directed them to any specified figure or amount. President MUSEVENI had not cleared Basajja Balaba's billions because it was not his responsibility to compute the figure. Secondly, the practice of ministers to hide behind the president had failed in the Chogam scandal. Chogam scandal group had tried to drag the president in their mess, which backfired. It's amazing that Saida and Chidu repeated the same mistake. Secondly, the more important secondly, and more importantly, the SAMPAC members were part of the FDC scheme to impeach the president in order to discredit him before the eyes of the public and to isolate him in the international community. They also want to incite Ugandans to overthrow this government. Therefore, ministers on the 2 occasions were encouraged by the PAC to implicate the president to serve FDC sinister moves. In fact, Parliament forced Saida and Chidu to resign unfairly because of the following reasons. 1. Argument is not that Basajjabala was not entitled to any payment. No, Basajjabala had a claim to compensation. 2. Ministers had powers to approve payment. What was at the dispute was the amount of money paid to Basajjabala. 3. Who should determine the figure? The Auditor General raised the query and said the money was much. Yes, let us assume that it was much. What was the actual that would be paid to Basajjabala? Arguing that Basajjabala should refund the money and that the minister paid him more than he was entitled to means that they paid beyond an agreed figure. What is this figure?
Yes. Kakati president we yalagira basasule babasajjabala babasasula ba mugenyi babasasula bani. If these people who claim to have bought the tax pack would have been paid in the same
mukumundi yo nabali basasula which
means they will never vote. They will not qualify. Details are there. Who knew the compensation? Who knew? When you are having a nice meal, do you remember at that time that you will need a toilet paper? Do you ask where this day they lock up the toilets? When you are having a nice meal, you ask for a fork, not a toilet. I sent a message to the Minister of Kampala. Don't bother. When these people want to take money, they will take it. Kakati the argument, following argument, who evaluates payment? The payments. Payments are evaluated by 2 people. The government valuer, yes, and courts of law. But the problem with the Basajjabala has faced to demand much money. The nguzi they gave is not countable. Toyiza genda nogamba gundi nogamba government valuer bano nabawe nguzi okumpa akatale. But the nguzi was there in billions. Yes. Nti enyumba tinyefunza je yali alwanira mu yali akolera omusajja omusuubuzi yagigula millions of dollars nazi wati nyefunza. Kakati omusajja oyo kati is dead. Kakumba alowooza nti musisi muntu agende wa musamu gamba nti nyamba nawayo sente zange nyingi mugunde no committee eya City Council ekukkiriza okugula ne babadde changes wezijjiddewo gwojje babadde tebannamaliriza resolution. Kakati musisi namugamba nti omanye nti yajja ne miliyoni 10,000 musiya mukwatirawo musale City Kakumba ni milioni meka bisatu. Kakati naye nga Kakumba tayina resolution, City Council's committee etunda teyamwa resolution anti yayita nabagula bamalayo yanesoko bagula genda ogula ettaka lya Buganda Land Board olaba abataka bonna bwe baggwayo abalangira bonna bwe baggwayo
bono olina okubawa.
Yes. Kakati buying property in Uganda, the amount of money a businessman like Basajjabala spends okufuna obutale obwo togamba nti biri kugundi ku merit abawa
asoka kubalisa bonna.
Kakati
tunula figure ya sasudde
the government value cannot include
how can compensation egenda kujjete mu matiza.
Era president waliwo ennyumba eri munda mu State House omugenzi mulowooza yali agiguze kati ne bagiteeka ku billion oba 9 president blocked the payment. Why? Akayumba kano kendaba kano inside the State House bagenda omubadde ne bamugamba emyaka 12 that man was denied income yali tayingiramu because of security. We are not valuing the plot alone.
No.
Where you agreed punitive measures. Kakati waliwo akayumba akalala ng'oyingira ku Kota Gadiokero House. Government yasasulako half. Naye nga bazannya Museveni bamunda. Ne bakola endagaano. Tekasa emyezi 6 giggwako nga second payment tegeereddwa poteya era poteya.
Weewaawo. Bwe wetambula ensonga tezigenda kuba nga zitambula ebintu